I got a nudge, another nudge, and this one came after talking to my son, and I realized how perfectly clear this little scenario is, and how people could really get it if they just hear these words that I share this day. I'm pointing this at a picture that represents exactly what I'm talking about. Years ago, after having my awakening, I had a real clear understanding about reality. And I started teaching it. And I, maybe years after, found a book called The Dream Maker by Bruce Wilkinson. And he's a Christian author. I think he's a minister. That's what he is. He's a minister, and then he writes books. Anyway, the book is absolutely clearly a representative of what I've come to realize. And so my son and I were talking about disease and how, one assumes the state and then it becomes them. So I was telling him that in my classes I used to teach this concept where I would say that, you're living in a neighborhood since you're born, and you're friends with everybody, knows everybody, or your relationships were there, or your friends, or your good times, or your bad times, and you get a job offer, and you have to move out of the area, and you're moving out of state. So it's really the end of, let's say, the old paradigm, the old way it used to be, and you're about to leave, and you meet a friend, an old ex, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and they're kind of whiny and sad that you're going, and they wish you weren't leaving or whatever, and you sit and you talk and blah, blah, blah. And like within an hour or so, you even forget that you decided to leave, that you have a new home, and you stay the night. And so that's basically what happens when we're ready to change the program that we've been living, or change the channel, or change the station, whatever, because everything that we are today is a representative of the program that we were given and we received. And I say that everything that we learn from conception, which is what we came in, the cellular memory, to age 7-ish, which is now validated by science, is what we become. And that means the predispositions that we assume or not, the fears, the doubts, the loves, the beliefs, they actually design the body that we wear and the life we are to live. So with that in mind, when we attempt to change those programs, there's rebellion. And the rebellion isn't about God testing us and lessons and evil. It's about us breaking free from what was. And in that book, The Dream Maker, when I first read it, I was so profoundly excited because I knew now I had something to give people to make it simpler than maybe the way I was teaching it. The book is, again, The Dream Maker by Bruce Wilkinson, and it is so simple, and it's so childlike that you could read it to a child and they probably would get it better than we get it because they're not so programmed. But the book is a gem because it reaches the person reading it on a very innocent, childlike level. And that's what we're trying to do when we change the program. We're trying to leave those programs to start anew. It's, to be like a child, which I share all the time, to enter the kingdom of heaven, which resides within us. And that's another story in one of my other CDs or one of the videos that I've done, where you can access the understanding that, we have to be purely clear to allow the true power that resides within us, if we allow it to become us. So when we start to leave that old program, there's lots of static in the field. There's lots of resistance. There's lots of fear. And it's not conscious. It's like, what the heck is this? I got to go. I start my job on Monday, And so when you realize that you at that point have to rise above what was and see clearly the new path. That you can't stay in what was and leave what was until you really take hold of the new destined path. I was talking to someone the other day, and I should leave that person because I'm not happy. And I said, you cannot leave that person until you heal that aspect of yourself. You can't leave the old until you become the new. And when you become the new, you may not even have to change your location. That which you are may grow into the rebirth of all those around you. Often that happens. Or you may, in fact, leave and see a whole new vista. But I wanted to share this because I think at this time, with what's going on in the collective, that if we don't stay in our true power source, in true dedicated consciousness, that we, in fact, will fall prey to the old, the system that's dying, And not to see it as anything but that a transformation from one reality to another. People call it the new earth. I have a page that I call Walking Towards the New Earth, and it's not about a physical movement. It's about an awakening to the power that we all have within. You cannot pour new wine into an old bottle that's corked. You have to open the bottle and clean it and allow the new, fresh wine to fill that vessel. And I say this all the time. If there's a blockage in a sink, and you put the faucet on, it will not produce a steady stream of water. You have to unblock that stoppage. And that's everything in reality. But more than ever now, what do we have to lose? Just what was. Just what kept us in a program that was dedicated to being subservient to a system that never worked. It was always about survival, never about truly living. All these people that are talking about, money and success and all of that means absolutely nothing. That paradigm is dying. The true wealth is to be intimate with life, to be intimate with nature, to truly allow someone in and out, and in and out, and in-breath and out-breath is in balance. When you're in that state, you are free. You're in life, not in survival. Anyway, I really thank you, Anthony, for inspiring this in me, because I know that this girl, this beautiful woman in front of me, is walking into a new reality. And as she is, she's picking up the foliage and putting it in her horn of plenty, because she knows that she's walking into a new earth. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.